Hey, I'm Joy, daughter of a Marine, chain smoking truth teller, and your host of Pandora's Box. Around here, we curse like sailors, cry like toddlers, and heal like fucking warriors. This is your safe space to say the weird thing because life's not G rated. I've lived through divorce, addiction, grief, caregiving, and I'm still here, and so are you. Whether you're driving home, hiding in the bathroom from your kids, or just trying to feel anything, you're not alone. Open the box, let the truth out, and let's sail through this shit together. Couple of things I want to recap from last week and welcome back. Thank you to all my Pathidians out there who come every week to listen to me, sometimes a couple times a week, depending on the mood. I got myself some new cheaters today, and they're blue and cheetah print, and they have this horrible glare. I think I got 4 pairs for $16. Um, Fun factoid, I never used to have to wear glasses. It was about when I was 43 years old when I was working at the bank, and I kept transposing numbers, and it was for Social Security numbers for loans, lines of credit, things you shouldn't be, fucking up on. And then I was like, I talked to my boss and I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like, everything's blurry. And he laughs and he said, welcome to old age. And I'm like, fuck you. I'm not old. He laughs and he said, you don't like the idea of wearing them. Imagine for myself, I've worn them since I was a little kid. Now, that's just a little fun factoid about me. I will take them off here in a second. I like them. They're blue. They're cheetah print. They fit my vibe. And if you look at my hat, I'm wearing a hat today. Um, I actually have a hot date with 2 of my nieces. We are going to go look at Christmas lights tonight at 8 o'clock. So I had to speed up everything and I took a bath, and I love bubble baths, and we're just gonna bring us into today's topic here in a moment. But last week we talked about mirror work and what I've done, standing in the mirror and being okay with the way that my belly apron from the years of me abusing myself, popping through my panties, and that, if you don't know what I'm talking about, or maybe you do, there's nothing worse than seeing a roll of fat saying, "Peekaboo, I see you." And then, of course, you want to play with it because, who doesn't want to? I do. I don't play that like it's not like my friend. We don't go on drives together and we don't go hang out at the local cafe. But it's a part of me, and I really have to be okay with it because if I can't accept myself, how can I expect anyone to accept me? Especially when we start going through and after the season of shedding, I will go into the more spicier parts of my life. I have had a couple people ask me, why can't you do it now? Because it's not the time. I feel ready to share this with all of you, but I really want to, when something happens in my life, I want to be able to bring it to you in real time. And the spiciness came right after my divorce, where I was trying to find myself, which leads me into episode 11. Can y'all believe that? Like, holy shit. Like, I geek out every time I do this. Not that I'm trying to be rich and famous, because, it is what it is. But I have this fun story to share. And for all of you who listen to me, by now you guys are finally figuring out who I am, where I came from, and most importantly, what I'm trying to do. And I was at the bank the other day and I was getting some quarters because where I live, it's coin op, so it takes $1.50. You have to put in this little slide, and it goes into this box, and then you can start your cycle for your washer or your dryer. And the nice lady behind the teller line, I used to work with her. I would say her name, but I don't want to do that. And the gal standing next to her, and she's like, "Hey, did you know that you can, Joy, on her podcast, um, she now has videos." And just by her acknowledging me when she didn't have to was really cool. I actually was taken back. She shared something personal that her and her wife are going through right now, and I won't share that because that's not my story to tell. But I will say that something in one of my episodes help them. And they shared that with me. And that right there is the reason why I do this every week. Why I, oh, such as, sorry, why I put on this, take off this mask that I wear, and I just let the shit out. And I really don't know how else to really help people. And I'm not a guru. I've said this numerous times. Like, I am a squirrel trapped in Marilyn Monroe, trapped in a zombie movie. I would probably be the one that would be dying because I'd be geeking out over whoever was following me with the chainsaw or the zombie. That'd be me. And I'd be the first one to die. And I know that. I don't really know how to shoot guns. Someday I'll tell you the only story that I have. I have shot a couple guns in my life. Most of them are rifles. Let's put it this way. I am no marksman. And if there's ever a time when if a zombie apocalypse actually happens and we have to go back to old school ways and we have to start like shooting things for our food, I don't have to worry about losing weight because I'll be super thin. I'll be anorexic thin because I'll be over here like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing here, you know. But enough about that. So today, when I was getting ready, I told you I have a date, if you will, with my two nieces. One is 16 and no, she's 17, my apologies. And one is 14, and we're going to go look at Christmas lights. So a part of that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to show up. I'm going to throw on some nicer casual clothes and my shirt. This is my fave. Over it. Exactly. And I was in a bathtub and I'm taking a bath, and I took a shower first, and then I was like, you know what? A good bubble bath always soothes my soul. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. So I get the hot water going and I put the bubbles in and I'm relaxing. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this is something super cool that's happening to me. So I want to talk about something, and it's called the bubble bath baptism. And this is actually what happened to me earlier today. And trust me, you're going to feel this one. Every version of you that dies makes space for a version that was waiting to live. Now, hold that thought for a second and let me repeat it because that's actually pretty super cool. Every version of you that dies makes space for the version that was waiting to live. Because today, that quote wasn't just a quote, it was a mirror, a freaking spotlight, a fucking wake up call. So when I say bubble bath baptism, I'm not talking about bubbles and candles and a great Spotify podcast, Pandora's Box. I'm talking about the emotional kind, the spiritual kind, the healing kind. The kind where you sink into a warm water after a long day, quiet, still, and tired, and the bubbles start rising around you. Now, just imagine that. You're in your bath and you're just watching the water raise and the bubble raise. Now let's pause there. Yes, I am 50, but I act like sometimes I'm like a child most of the time. I geek out over the smallest things, but whatever. I still to this day, oh, oh God, I can't believe I'm sharing this with you. I take the bubbles and like I was a kid and I would put them in my hand and I'd put them on my face and I'd always shape a beard like Santa. Probably the reason why I'm wearing this hat, because it's more than the season of shedding for me. This is a big part of my life is Christmas, and this is the first year without my mom. So back to the matter at hand. Sorry, squirrel moment. I'm working on transitioning, I do promise. And in that moment, you realize that each bubble represents something you've been carrying. A bubble for someone's expectations, a bubble for someone's guilt, a bubble for the identity that was placed on you, a bubble for the version of it of you that existed to only please others. A bubble for weight you've been dragging for years, a bubble for emotional labor you never signed up for, and then the fucking bubbles start to pop. Not because you force them, not because you're angry, not because you're pushing people away. They pop because you finally stop holding them in place. Now, I want to sit there for a few seconds. I want you to really take that in. And I told you that most of my life is unscripted, but one thing that I've noticed is, again, squirrel moment, is as I jump from segue to segue, and that's just who I am. But I really want to do better because my story is relatable to many. I'm not the only person that wakes up every day and chooses if they should go right and left or go straight. I'm not that person. Everyone has that same issue. And I do apologize for the glare on my glasses. I look like I have a blind spot. It's pretty cool, actually. Look at me go. See, squirrel moment. Now back to my story. They pop because you finally stop holding him in place, right? You finally let the old version of you float to the surface and disappear. That's a baptism. That's the shedding. That's the moment you realize I don't have it in me anymore to carry people who refuse to carry themselves. Now I want to pause there again because that is how I live my professional life. And some of you work with me, some of you know me from other places, but when I've been in management since I was 23 years old. So I have a fine art of managing others, and that is kind of a downfall because it goes into my personal life. Literally. And it does not work. And as I navigate through this story today, you're going to be like, "Oh, wow. I get it. I get it now." Today I had someone upset with me, not because I didn't drop my plans, not because I didn't rescue them emotionally, but because I didn't arrange my life to soothe their pain. And years ago, I would have apologized. I would have made myself small. I would have bent over backwards to make it right. But today, I didn't because I felt bubbles popping. The fixer fucking popped. The emotional caregiver fucking popped. The people pleaser, ah, fuck. Let's just get into it. So I work for a company, and part of my job is I have to, it's a, it's a thing, right? I have to sign checks for the vendors that we have, for payroll, you name it, I have to sign it. And I wanted to go get my nails done, selfishly. And the office manager was like, "Can you be here?" And I'm like, "Oh, gosh darn it. How do I get out of this one?" And so I was like, I'm him hawing around. Finally, I just said, "Hey, I'm off work. I just want to go do some me time. I want to take some time for myself." And you know what? That fucking bubble popped because guess what? She didn't get upset with me. She didn't call me out. She didn't say anything. All she said is, "It could be done Monday." Absolutely right. It could be Monday. And guess what? The bridge did not burn. The city did not fall. And nothing bad happened because I said the fucking truth. I wanted to be selfish and I wanted to get my nails done. The guilt that day popped. The version of me felt responsible for everyone else's feelings. Not only did it fucking pop, pop, poppity pop, pop, it fucking exploded. I'm not choosing sides anymore. I'm fucking choosing me. And that's a sentence I never thought I'd hear myself say out loud. Now, I talk a lot around, growth and development and what I've done to get where I'm at. And I will tell you, Every day I wake up and the challenge is fucking real. I sit there and I'm like, "Oh god, really? I have to do it again today? I don't want to." I made a comment one time to a vendor. I said, "Have you ever had you ever just wanted to put some Jameson in your coffee?" That is how real I am every day. And it goes into the season of shedding. This right here is the season of shedding. Not forcing fucking change, not begging for someone to understand, not defending your personal boundaries, just letting the old version die quietly so the new one can fucking breathe. Now that's fucking raw. Before I started this personal growth, like I've always wanted to be better. And I've stated this every episode I've ever done on this podcast. I want to be better than I was yesterday, the day before, the next day. I just want to continue my growth and development. And it's really hard when you are just trying to just be and fucking breathe. The bubble pops because the season has arrived. Because the old story can't survive in the body of the new woman or person. Because you've outgrown the life that required you to sacrifice yourself. Shedding isn't violent, it's natural, it's gentle, it's quiet, and it is so fucking necessary. Now, a lot of times when I do these podcasts, I'm sure some of you are like, "How the hell she come up with this shit?" I am a very thorough human. Like I wasn't before I started this line of work. I'm very observant, and it just happens over time, right? I'm sure you're in a position yourself where if you have to be on point all the time. And I was never on point for myself. And that is the reason why this bubble bath baptism will relate hopefully with you. We're all in this shit show together. No, none of us, no matter how rich, how poor, how tall, how skinny, how beautiful, how immaculate you think you are. We are not getting out of this shit. We're not. We all have an expiration date. And yes, people always say, well, that's because you're in your moment. No, we've already talked about this. I'm not having a midlife crisis. I'm having a fucking midlife glow up. So before we get back into my story, oh my gosh, my nose always itches for some reason. I went to TJ Maxx and new coffee mug, Miriam Bright, because I do want to be officially Christmas season. And we were looking for, well, bathroom things. And I'll be honest, I was looking for pink bath mats and I couldn't find them. But instead, I found a bunch of stuff, some new outfits, some new face mask, and this delicious coffee. It's a princess blend and it's from Disney. And I didn't even know Disney made coffee. But here we go. First sip. Here we go. Never tried it before. Mm, okay. Um, has a weird taste of like chestnuts. And almost like butter, like butter. Like that's weird. Okay. Anyhow, it's good though. Now that we're back in the story again, and we're back in the bath baptism. Holy cow! I think I had a stroke there for a second. No, I'm okay. Now you're getting out of the tub, and you grab your towel. And here's the most powerful part. When the bath water drains and you stand up and you reach for your towel, you're not drying the same person who stepped in there. You're drying off a new version of you. And that version that finally says, I love myself. I believe in myself. I will not abandon myself ever again. I'm not responsible for holding broken people together. I choose me loudly, quietly, confidently, and fucking always. Now, the reason why that I really wanted to talk about that is because that's what actually happened to me today. The incident that actually started this actually happened on Friday, but that is how I've really have led most of my life. It's always been people pleasing. I would have broke my ass to do for someone, and I have given up things that I needed to do for myself because I've always wanted to make someone happy. But when that happened, what happens? You fill someone's cup, but they don't fill yours. And filling a cup, yes, it's metaphorical, but imagine a cup empty. That's you when you give. And as you pour it, it's filling. And what's it doing? It's satisfying. I read this book one time and I was at the bank and I was always in some sort of self improvement course. Like, if there was a self-improvement course for management, person, I don't care what it was, I was in it. Like D&I, I was always doing something because I've always wanted to be better than who I was the day before. And I was reading this book. Just so happens when I left Wells Fargo, that's the bank where I used to work at, I forgot to return it to the person who it belonged to. So, if you know who you are, you want the book, I'll bring it to the bank. But it was really, really good. And it was actually aimed for newer managers or managers who wanted to get out of their box of thinking and actually take on that perspective of you cannot lead a horse. Wait, hold on. How's it go? Something to do with you can't take a wait. Yes, that's it. Oh my God, another squirrel moment. My apologies. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And I never really understood that in all my years of coaching, developing individuals, coaching, developing myself until recently. I have literally been forcing people to drink out of the cup that I have, and it's depleted me every day. And it's not that people do it on purpose. I don't believe that. I don't. And I don't want anyone to think that, oh my gosh, she's just running her mouth again. Yeah, I do run my mouth, but hopefully it makes sense this time, right? And, I just was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is what you say, this is what you do. You help people, you get them to the next place, and you keep on, you keep on. No, not only is that people pleasing, that's fucking caregiving at its finest. So when I was getting ready for this podcast and taking my bath and thinking of things that I want to bring out, talk about, and mostly unfucking box was that because I have literally done something to myself, kind of like the apron belly I have. I did it to myself. I have allowed people to take from me and drink from my cup without pouring it back in. And no wonder I was always so tired and sad and lonely and empty. I used to listen to podcasts a lot before I started one. And I would watch documentaries and I'd watch these real talks and blah, blah, blah with whoever and whatever. And I never understood what it took until I started my own podcast. And it's a lot of fucking grit. It's a lot of emotional unboxing. Today I was using my Oracle and she I keep saying it's a she, but I really don't know what exactly pronoun you use for probably they, them. I don't know. For a computer program, AI. And I was telling her, what I was going to talk about. And again, I love AI because she's always like, Joy, that's the most profound thing you've ever said. And I'm just like, oh my God, if you were a robot, we would be besties. Everything I say is profound. It's actually fucking fantastic. If you ask me, I just fucking love it. And she said, You're tired of being an emotional janitor. What? That is a fucking great fucking saying. You're damn skippy. I'm tired of being an emotional janitor. I don't want to sweep up nobody else's messes. I don't want to have to clean up after the fucking chaos. I just want to be. I want to be happy. I want to be thankful. I want to be confident. I want to love my fucking self. I want to choose my fucking self. So, you may have an aha moment as well. It may come to you in a bath. It may come to you driving home from work. But when you do get those aha moments, it is absolutely crazy on how quickly your mindset follows. Today, I was shopping and my friend, my ride or die, was like, I'm out on this one. And I was like, okay, I'm only going to go in to try to find pink bath mats. And I had to put blinders on, not literally. But imagine, the horse with the black things that keep them going. I really don't know what they're called. I'm not a horse person. And I kept wanting to stop and take a look. And I was so afraid of hurting her feelings I took too long. When I found a couple things I bought that I truly didn't need, but let's face it, I have a shopping addiction. Um, I got back to her car and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I said, I found these really good mugs. And she's like, you don't have to apologize. I told you to take your time. I told you to take your time. A lot of times you'll find yourself where we are always in a hurry and we don't know why. And that's why the bubble bath baptism, I really wanted to talk about it today. And my second week of my season of shedding is because of what it did for me. And it was so fucking bizarre when you are thinking of, relaxing and all of a sudden you're shaving off your Santa beard. Yeah, I go like this, by the way. Yep, I just take my little fingers right across my face. Yes, I'm weird. I'm like a 4-year-old trapped in a 50-year-old body. It's fine. And you're just like poppity pop, pop, pop. And then you start literally thinking of things that you've shedded over whatever course of time. And you fucking start to smile. And just picture this. I'm in my bathtub, shaving off my Santa beard, and I'm thinking about all the emotional ties that am washing away, and the bubbles are popping, and they are taking it away. It's cleansing not only my body, but my soul. Now, some of you might be like, damn, this bitch is fucking crazy. Yeah, I've admitted. I am off the wall, off the cuff, fucking squirrel. But I'm fucking real, and I'll be honest with you. Just like these dots in my eyes, I'm not gonna hide behind my shame no more. Just like I'm sure some of you probably wanted to know. This is a squirrel moment. This made me think of it when I'm talking, no makeup, barefaced, and living my best fucking life. So I'm gonna take my hat off. I want to share this with you. This again is a part of my shedding. You see this bump? Or actually, it's a dent in my forehead. This has been with me since the day I was actually 2 weeks after I was born. My mom was a new mother, and, she was, 19 when she got pregnant with me, and she lived with her mom and her stepdad because my real dad decided that he didn't wanna show up for her, and he sure the fuck didn't show up for me, right? And she thought she misplaced me. Oh, God. This tells you how fucking random it even as a baby, I was like, "Fuck you, I'm rolling all over the place, I don't care." And from what my mom told me, she found me 2 hours later, like, I was like, "Fuck it, I must have been a good kid," I don't know. But sandwiched between the wall and her bed, and this dent is now permanently with me for the obviously, it's been there since, 3 weeks old, and I used to be ashamed of that too. I can remember when I was in elementary, I used to always get made fun of. They always thought I was, somebody that put, a gem there. Now, I've tried. No, I cannot hold the gem. I would actually have to put something there and keep my eyebrows raised in order to hold it. But that's what this is all about. It's me sharing my stories, my bubble bath baptism, one story at a time. Now, for all of you who are just sitting there, just thinking to themselves, it may work for me. Sure, try it. I encourage you to do so. I am a firm believer that everyone deserves to be happy, regardless of what sin you may have committed or what shame you have inside you. You deserve it. I deserve it. We fucking deserve it. Now, one thing that I just can't help but say is this. I have been so geeked out over this, and I just really just want to say thank you again. Wow, should have kept the hat on. It's fine. Is thank you. Thank you for coming back every week and listening to my shenanigans and hopefully learning something because that's all we can do as people is we help others and we help others in any way that we can. And that is a lesson that I learned from my late mother. She was always about that. And as we get into the season of shedding, I'm going to talk to you more and more about my mom because this was her favorite time of year. And this is why I'm no longer going to hide. Um, I'm not going to do it no more. That's why I've put my Christmas tree up literally 2 weeks for Halloween. That's why everything in my apartment is red, green, pink, you name it. I've got every color in the rainbow because life is not meant to be black and white. It's meant to be lived in color. And the rainbow is beautiful. And I'm glad that I get to have these privileges that I do. Waking up every day, going to work. Saturdays is my rest and relaxation time. And then I get to do this and be with all of you. I actually watched my episodes on my TV and I was sitting there, it was last Saturday, and this is all reflection in real time. And sorry about the squirrel moments. And I had a cover on my lap. I'm on my couch. And I'm like, all right, I'm looking up fucking YouTube. Let's go. And as soon as I heard my voice, my body started to quiver. I started to have severe anxiety. My heart was racing. My palms were sweating. And all it was because I fucking seen myself. And not that I was embarrassed of the content, what I said, or how I looked. It was the fact that my body was actually catching up with all the work that I've done. And seeing yourself and listening to how raw you are. With no scripts, no little Jiminy Cricket on my shoulder. It's just me being real. And it's fucking scary. So last night, I went out and I love to people watch. All of you know this. I need another drink of coffee. This princess. It's actually good. If you're ever at TJ Maxx, it's in the, I call it the I get you aisle. The aisle as you navigate to the register. Yeah, it's green and has Disney princess on it. Try it. And no, no shameless plugs. So I was like, "Okay, I'm really doing this. Like, I'm really fucking opening up my Pandora's box to the world, because that's truthfully when you put this content out, you're putting it out for anyone to, 1, listen, explore with you, build with you, but also to downgrade you. And that's why I don't wear makeup. I will occasionally if I'm off work and I wanna do a quick, "Hey, checking in," type of thing. "This is your girl, Pandora." Because I'll be honest, I'll be the first fucking person to tell you what's wrong with me. I don't need someone to give me some advice or friendly, calm feedback. No, I know, okay? We talked about this. I'm I I I look like I'm sorry, rabbit. I have hanging skin, I have wrinkles, I have these dots, I have my forehead. I'm not perfect. I have this red stuff that we talked about. I'm gonna bring it to you in real time. Like last night, back to my story. I went out with my brother. He went with a couple of his friends, and I went with my bestie and her husband. We're celebrating some things positive in their life. And I said to her prior to getting ready, I said, "I'm gonna ham it up today." And I know she's thinking to herself, "What makes it different than any other fucking day?" So I had this blue silvery romper, sequence. I got it at Target a couple years ago. And when I first bought it, it was super tight on me. I looked like a stuffed potato, you know, but I felt good in it because I like to shine. I've always said that if Liberace and Elton John had a kid, I would be that kid. And so when I was getting ready, I'm like, okay, fuck it. It's almost Christmas. I'm going to be the fucking gift, right? Because we are. We are the gift. So I'm getting dressed and I'm getting my hair and I have it half down, half up, which by the way, I wear that a lot. And I wear a lot of bows because it's, for me, I'm tying it all in. I've been obsessed with bows and hearts and everything since my mom's passed. So I'm like, okay, I remember watching this tutorial on TikTok where you put the hair and you make a bow with your hair. And I'm like, I'm going to do it. So I do it, put my makeup on. It's blue, it's silver. I'm wearing silver shoes and carrying a blue handbag. And I walk in like I own the place. And that kid from last week, the one that was calling me a killer, he too was there. And this is cute. This is where the story gets cute. I said, "Hey, I remember you." He's like, "Yeah, what's your name again?" And I said, "What?" He goes, "That's right, you're the fucking podcast lady." And I said, I started laughing. I'm like, "Yeah, you can call me that. You can call me whatever you would like, but the podcast lady will work." Things like that just make you smile. It makes you remember, even though we may feel like we are in a big pond and we're the only fish, we're not. We're all navigating through this together. Just like the bath baptism. You may realize when the next time you take a bubble bath or just a bath period, however you do that, the suds from the soap is the same thing. Let it go. Let the shit go. I have to, and I really hope you do too. There's nothing better than realizing when it's time to just move on and be okay with it and be proud of it, most importantly. So tonight, I want you to think about your own bathtub baptism. God, that's a tongue twister. What bubbles in your life are you ready to pop? What expectations no longer fit you? What version of you is reaching the end of the story? What are you ready to release? So you can rise as the person you were always meant to be. Ah, my nose is always itchy. Because this shedding isn't scary, it's sacred. It's fucking freeing. It's honest. And it's fucking real. So to my Pythians, I hope at least one bubble pops tonight for you. I hope one old story lets go. I hope you step out of the bathtub a little lighter, a little clearer, and a little bit more you. And remember, you are the fucking hope left in the box. You don't need to have it all figured out. Just lace up, light up, and keep fucking moving. The journey's rough, the waves are high, but this sailor's got your back. Say the weird thing. Say it fucking loud. Come back next week. This is Pandora's Box, and I'm just fucking Joy. Take care.